or Shosha, the name based. And ultimately, obviously, so two people saw the moon, and the three people who saw the moon also happen to be a base. That would be a basis. So what's the halacha? The lesson, remember again, you need a base to be a kaddish, the Kodesh. In general, to sanctify the moon, like you need two things. You need two witnesses who saw the moon. And we need to give everyone testimony in front of a base. This is now interesting, what do you have over here? You have three people who happen to be a base, who saw the moon together. So what should we do? Here we go. So you understand, so what happens? Two of the three essentially act as the witnesses. Two of the three, two separate from the three, they become the witnesses. They add on two more diameter, two more judges, and ultimately again they give their testimony. No rule the Kudosh, and then after the two give their testimony, then the three, plus when we get the three, one out of the three days are constituted of the one earlier Dayan and two additional Dayanim. So then the new is the same, the new one is sanctified. Why? Shein Hayovid Ne'eman al Yidei Atzmo. Because at the end of the day, halacha l'maisa not so it says in the understand. These are like the Einas the diamond, but if you hold that it aids to become a diamond, why do you use this whole process? So in essence, remember again, just to review, the process in Rosh Hashanah is you have a Beis Din that sees the new moon. We saw it together. So two guys, a Beis Din of two saw the new moon together. Now, what do we need? We need two things. We need testimony and we need a Beis Din. Right? The testimony is necessary to actually know the new moon, and the Beis Din is necessary to declare. Right. So halacha l'maisa, what do? Two separate themselves out from the Beis Din become the eight. Now we're left with only one diamond. So we add on two more diamond. So now again, the two witnesses, two quote-unquote witnesses, will go ahead and give testimony in front of the two diamond. Says the Gemara, these are like the Einas the diamond. So if you're the halacha l'maisa, Einas the diamond, then why do you use this whole thing? Why do you use this whole thing? Which the Gemara says, but they can't just go ahead and let them stay in their place and let them approach the Kailash. Otherwise, let's say, if the Einas the diamond, then just go and do this. Let the two you guys give testimony, right? So in that moment, what are they? They're Eidim. And in the next moment, then what? Let them morph Dayanim. In other words, and you can use the same rule of three for everything. Two give testimony, and then again, after they give testimony, they can morph into Dayanim, and they give you the very case that is the Kaddish. Why is there a need to go ahead and halacha l'maisa? Why is there a halacha l'maisa? To enfranchise more people onto a base. All day, absolutely deep passion. Since you know this is the same passion. You should look at Rabbi Yitzchak Bashmir Banata, Rabbi Yitzchak Rafuna, Rakuno with Gia Barab, So they say, and only Izabah, and ask the question. Ultimately, again, then ask the question to Rab. They went up the ladder, went to Rab, went to God, said, I'm going to let you this happen. Kiddush HaChodesh, Kiddush HaChodesh is Daraisa. I'm not the Eidos HaChodesh Daraisa. The Kiyam Shtaris Dirabah. Which the Gemara said, that's a unique mistake. You're treating all cases of testimony the same. Like that they're all one in you. It's not true. In fact, Allah for the nice again, there are different forms of Eidos. Up until now, what have we been talking about? Kiyam Shtaris. Is it Dirabah? Right? Remember the whole side. Midaraisa, if you have a star is a star. Like the Dirabah is a concept that Allah for the nice, a star is a star. So there's a way to go and certify that process is called Kiyam Shtaris. What do you use the Kiyam Shtaris? So you need a couple of different things. Either you need there's enough focus exactly what you need. But for our purposes, what you need is a base thing to go ahead and uphold the shtar through testimony. So I need Dayonim and I need Aiden. Since it's the Rabbanan Chazal said, we use the same rule for Aid Naaseh Dayan. So you have guys who have as witnesses and then more judges. Eagles HaChodesh, which is Eagles Daraisa. When they Daraisa, that's what it is Daraisa. I need Aiden, and I also need Aid. And based in that case, we just now say Aid Naaseh Dayan. In that case, we two distinct groups of Dayanim and Aiden. And therefore, I will say, in the example that we gave, in the group of three, we want to base and see that we move to separate themselves, they become Aiden. And once they become Aiden, they can no longer be what? Dayanim. So we need to add on two more to make Dayanim. So therefore, I will say, what would really incredible, what comes out of the Rabbi Rothschild, Halach when I say what? These whole Aiden Naaseh Dayan, but only in what case? Only the case Rabbis. So we've got a right side, which is not hold the Aiden Naaseh Dayan. Incredible. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Abba, Amarav, Amarav. Shlosh Shlosh Uba Kain and Sashtai. They'll say, listen to this. Three people sit down to go ahead and certify a document. So let's just remember again, this is now a base thing. So a big, just trying to understand what's happening over here. A big person is coming to sit down to go ahead and certify a document. They're going to look through this process and certify that the document is in fact a legitimate document. Okay, and remember again, what's going to be the result of that process? What's the result of that process? What we call a henry. Right, or a sharpa. We're going to go an actual certification. Certification is written on the document itself. So 3 seconds. The current year, or Allah was someone raised an objection, or an objection was raised about one of them. So what was it? Now essentially, the type of objection we're talking about, what kind of objection? The type of objection that will validate this person from serving as a Dayan, because that's what we assume. So let's say, what do I do? So the Gemara says, okay, not a problem. So the Gemara says, actually, Chasmu, we eat Allah, the person. And once it here's an interesting case. We're gonna clarify this in just a moment. And see this is happening. You got Ruben and Shimon and Levi. Right? They're sitting down to certify a document. As you're sitting down in the certification process, an objection is raised about the legitimacy or fitness of Ruben. It happens to be that Shimon and Levi know that the objection is not a valid objection. So they can testify, in other words, not testify, they can testify that the kashrus of Ruben. So the Gemara says, if they have not yet signed the certification, they have not yet signed it, actually, they can testify on behalf of Ruben's behalf, certifying that Ruben himself is fit to serve as a doctor, and then they do also the certification of the we should first move, however, I love for the myself, if they sign the certification and then the objection was raised, aim then I will say that doesn't have to no longer testify about you. Why can't they testify about you? Why not? Because we'll say here's the problem. The problem is now the testimony is biased because he or she will be upset after the certification is made. The truth is, it's a big embarrassment for them and a road to their personal legitimacy. If Halach and Amasa Ruben is it turns out to be unfit, this would be a barrier. Therefore, you can't trust what they say because they're just trying to save their own reputation. Look at Rashi. Rashi says over Shekasmu, that's Rashi like that. Habu Logi Be'evis. Now at this point in time, they're like, yeah, Be'evis, right? They have the best interest in this testimony. Shekinai Lahem Sheish or Yisuk Kasum. It's embarrassing to me, right? To be part of a certification together with someone who's a pastor. Which is pretty straightforward. Gemara says, here are the Let's talk about this a little bit. When we talk about the fact that Ruben was an objection raised against Ruben, what type of objection? Here because the new son. So we'll say, if somebody comes home and says, Ruben is a Basna, this dying, he's in Basna, he owns the houses. Right, he went ahead and he stole money. He's a Basna. So the Gemara says, top of stuff raising valid. Train. they'll say, so here's the problem. Here's the problem. So now let's say Ruben and Shimon and Levi are sitting together. They're about to certify the document. Right? So now what's happened? So guys, so A and B come forward and say Ruben is unfit, he's a Gazlan. Okay, so now what's going to happen? Shimon and Levi are going to come along and say, what? He's not a Gazlan? So okay, so no, he's not treacherous, he's not a Gazlan. Okay, let's say we call this a halacha, tray or tray. They'll say, what's tray or tray? Two witnesses against two witnesses. See, here's the problem. Two witnesses against two witnesses are not going to be enough to restore Ruben's residence. So he argues with Gaza, having tray or tray. The law is kasher behind. Let's say, so remember again, so let's go back for just a moment. What's happening over here? Ruben and Shimon and Levi are based. They're sitting down together to certify a bank. Right? Based on the previous sugya, they recognize the signatures on the document, so they can go ahead and certify it on their own. They don't need additional document. As they go through this process, someone or two other guys come in, A and B come in and say, Ruben is a thief. He's a Gazlan. He's a Gazlan. So what do the vices say? If Shimon and Levi know it's not true, as long as before they sign, the certification, they can testify on Ruben's behalf and restore Ruben's husband's ashes. Which the Gemara says, why? It's not true. If A and B come along and say, hey, Ruben's a Gazlan, but Ruben and Shimon, the other two guys on the base, say, no, he's not, that's 2 against 2. 2 against 2 doesn't restore the husband's ashes. 2 against 2 prevents anything from happening. Like 2 against 2 prevents the thing from proceeding. But the Lamaisa, the husband's ashes not saying restored. Which the Gemara says, here, that was Shpacha, so maybe, they're testifying that Ruben is unfit to Shimon. Right? He's a mamzer. He's a mamzer. He's an ever. Actually, his mamzer is not a good example. But he's an ever, actually says it here. He's an ever. He's an ever. Ultimately, again, right? He's an ever, and therefore, again, Allah is not fit to Shimon. So if that's and what? And what do I say now? So now let's play this out. So A and B come along and say that Ruben is an ever. And now Shimon and Levi come along and say, what? No, he's not. I don't understand. In this case over here, so Gemara says, in this case over here, here the Kedam Mishpacha, you miss the Alma. So let's say, when you think of that is actually, how do you resolve that code? How do you resolve it? You investigate. Let's say, that's the genealogical code that Eidos tells us that there's an issue that needs to be investigated. But Lamaisa, that is something that so I love so much. So somebody looks at the vase and says, Ruben McDonald is an Eved. Okay, the fact that she really saying no, he's not, that doesn't do anything for us. We're now going to have to investigate the bottom of it. Which was like, even the first year the guys living listen to this also. This is such a beautiful thing. Here's the case. Here we go. Get ready. Ruben, Shimon, and Levi are based in. They're sitting down certifying the document as they're in the process of certification. Before they've signed certification. A and B, 2 more witnesses walk in. They say Ruben is a Gazlan. He's a thief, unfit to go ahead and engage in this process. And let's say, what does Shimon and Levi say? Get ready for this. Ruben and Shimon say, Yadinam paid the other Shimon. Wow. Ruben and Shimon say, okay, you're right. He was a thief, but you have the halacha and also, that's the answer. So, how could you know that someone did Shiva? So Rashi says you're going to write discussing actually the other Shiva, the hate Shiva is Hakizera. He returned to slowly. So let's say that's why the Gemara says something very specific. Yes, on the theft, you know whether or not someone did Shiva or not. Now, granted, if two parts to tshuva. There's the medial tshuva and ultimately the emotional or spiritual tshuva. You can't necessarily have someone with emotional or spiritual tshuva. But when I say somebody's still an object, but whether or not they return. So let's say this is actually pretty amazing. So therefore, again, I love the Mesa, what you are suggesting is like this. Now we understand the bright side. So Rabbi should maybe our basis assume that he's certified doctor. A and B lower remains unfit. He's a Kazman. He's a Kazman. Shouldn't a lady happen to know that we're going to do tshuva? So they want to say, we're going to do tshuva. So I say, what's the halacha? Can they restore women's legitimacy and finish the process of being Shabbos? Which you guys say, it depends. What is it that I run? If they already signed the certification. If they have not yet signed the certification, then Shimon and Levi will be believed because of how everyone's behalf. And halacha lema'aseh that certification can proceed as of now. If, however, the certification is already signed, we no longer accept relations as knowing why. They're no good at that. Is that how they say they have a vested interest in freeing women's name because they're documents together here. Incredible. Already. I'm listening to the Abishna. And Zayr says, I heard this thing from Rabbi Abba. If you love Rabbi Abba, then Abba Shahata. If it were not Rabbi Abba, if Rabbi Abba, I would have forgotten. Had he gotten about it, I would have forgotten. Let's say you guys do this halacha. Let's say this is the whole day. Trying to tell you, let's say, about this previous like this one, so you guys talking about it. Then three guys were sitting on a basement. Like, you got bread, you see on the sun, and I doesn't want to go. And then I said, today's one. And what happens? She don't let me know that he didn't see me. He wasn't me. And they also know that he didn't do Shula. They say, sometimes, what keeps us from making the changes we need to make is embarrassment from our lives. Like, sometimes when I change certain things about my life, other people, I'm certain about my life, other people may find out about things that I did, behaviors I did, lifestyles I did have. So often again, people find out about this, pronouncing it, but making the necessary changes I need to make. Sometimes when you see a real children, it requires a certain personalistic way. Sometimes the person wants to be able to know what people know, what people don't know. It doesn't teach you what matters is that I do the best information. Here, people are sitting without it. You're sitting on a base, sitting on maybe no. Like this one's gonna say this and this one's gonna say that. People will say and say. At the end of the day, they'll say, what do you see? At the end of the day, the more important is past, is present. Present. Something about Shiva is no greater Social repentance of Shtar, it makes excellence. So it's a really very interesting case. Three people were sitting down to go ahead and certify a Shtar. So again, this is the base. So this is called basically certifying your document without evils. Without evils. They recognize the signatures. So and one of them died, sweeping of the afterlife. The most of plus Sahabina, the five less Sahabina. Just to illustrate what the problem is in this case. Not the problem, but what's going on here. Moving Shimon Levi, they're based, then there are the like when we're sitting down to certify a document, we go through the whole process. Document is good to go. Right before they sign, Ruben dies. Ruben dies. So we'll say, so now the certification is valid because the certification was done with the base key. So we're good on that level. The shame now is only we sign this document. Obviously can't sign with the thing. No. So the nice thing, what do we do? So the Murray gives a formulation. What's the formulation? We should say the most of plus Sabina, we were a group of three with five less Hamid, and one is point one. And one is the longer. Right? So we'll say, so ultimately, so this is what do people see? What do people see when they read that certification? What they see is the actual certification itself was done with a group of three. A proper certification with three was done. The Maisa, by the time it came time to signing it, one was no longer, one had passed away. Because of they, alternatively, if you want to follow it, Shtara B'Nefak, Shtara B'Nai, Nafak L'Kadama B'Nai. Suicide. I said, you also like, this document came before a base. This document came before a base. I'm going to say, if you like, this document came before a base, and that's not why. What is a base automatically? What is a base automatically? The idea over here, what I'm saying is the certification. So let's say one important element, we should that you have a basic certified document, and the one has a certification, but one dies before signing. The certification is still valid. And somehow, somebody, here's the problem. The certification is valid, but where do you run into a problem? Where do you run into a problem? How many signatures are you going to have on the certification? Only two. So the verbiage of the certification has to reflect the fact that it was done in the presence of three. So now we have two possibilities. Possibility A is ultimately again, so right, the most of plus Sabina, this document is certified in front of three, but one is no longer. One is no longer. That's one possibility. Or possibility number three is just to say this document was certified in the presence of a base. You only have two signatures. People understand between the lines what happened that one of the Dayan must have died. So it says, we've done a basic question. Well, second, maybe it's a mitzvah. Or say, what's a mitzvah? Watch this. Shmuel, Shtayim Shadanu B'nei Yachid. Shmuel is actually kind of Shmuel said, you can have two people acting. You have to be right. And the Shanikra based in Chesed. The Shmuel says they're called the six to be based. So technically speaking, that the based that two that adjudicates what they adjudicate stands, but they call the first to be based. Siv, they, sorry, so therefore we'll say, so here's the problem. Maybe you have a document that says this certification that says this certification is done because it's based in. People, you have two signatures. People say, oh, so you see here that the basing of two words. So the basing of two seven words. But the based in, there's the exit they do it without the action. It says in the document, you use the word a based in, like the based in of Rabbi Rothschild. Rashi, and I say, Rashi, Rashi plus, the based in of Rabbi Rothschild. Also, the Nisa Rakichi, your Rosh Shiva, the Nasa the married Shmaitin, the bad I be doing the Rashi love you as a adding some type of verbiage that essentially says this basically operates in accordance with the standards of potency. Like this basic operating like the basic of Ravashi. And therefore what you're doing is you're certifying that this was a basin of what? A basin of food. It's not really one that they all died before they could sign the document. Gemara says, "As a woman that I bought the Rashi, it's Siv Beit the Aram Lama, not in the Hashi. They say maybe they wanted shmur, but ultimately again a base of two. Ultimately we work as well, to which again the doctor says Amar Lama, not in the Hashi. She says is that PKA that is that PKA with Kayune the favorite that Hashi who plays people. So I say by the way they added in the document itself. Allah Almighty, this was done under the guidance of the Hashi. The idea being Allah there has to be something in the document in between these that is based and operated in accordance with the standards of what they do, which only use what they do and do by law. So that will say what comes out of it is something was literally Shtaris will require new dynamic. If Allah again, we were present for the actual certification, but one died before the signing actually here certification can proceed. Right? With the two. It's true, but it's not really with the two, it's really with the three. But Allah Almighty, there has to be some type of verbiage in the sign itself that indicates this was done to grasp with the two. This was done in accordance with proper ways of life. Incredible. Yes, I mean, fascinating. Isha Shahara, Isha Ishayisi, Isha Namaras, let's listen to this. Woman comes in front of the basin, and here's what she says. She says, I was married, but now I'm divorced. I was married, but now I'm divorced. Let me say, let's start that. Well, Namaras, she's believed, right? Shahbasha, also Shahbasha, so this is, again, another illustration of this video that we've been using out the last couple of years, which is, if you come into basin, and you provide information that we do not know, then again, you are believed to qualify that information as well. So let's say, what's the logic of it? It's a migo. What's the migo? What's the migo? You could have said nothing at all. You could have said nothing at all. You would have never known anything. So a woman comes into dating. She says, I was married, but now I'm divorced. What do we say? What do we say? Okay. Right? In other words, fine. Fine. In other words, we believe you because we did not know you were married. So now that you told us, you gave us the information. Right? Pasha also, we are passion. You assert yourself, so to speak, by saying that you are married. Now you committed yourself by saying that you are divorced. I mean, we believe you. We believe you. However, also, however, if there are witnesses that she was married, the Omer is crucial. And now she says, no, but my husband divorced me in your name. She's not believing. She's not believing without producing some type of proof. Because I will say, in this case, remember again, the status as an Isha is independently established through English. And therefore, her real will is not to change that status. Similarly, Amra, which this is Sutra, the rest of this case, she says, I was taken captive, but I was not violated by my captors. Na'amanas, she is the wife. Shatasash, also a passion. Let's remember again, we had no idea that she was taken captive. So again, she's providing us the information that she is taken captive, therefore she is believed to qualify. However, the Edim Shanishtis, no matter the Bora Ani, ain't on Na'amanas. I won't say that halacha l'maisa. However, if there are issues that say that she was taken captive, if she claims as if not violated, she's not believed. Right? But I say why? Because remember again, we assume that Stam Shuriya, regular women taken captive, is violated by her captors. So if the Shuriya status is independently corroborated, she is not believed by herself to qualify it without some type of witness. So again, let's say same cases. The initially says, well, again, takes it. However, if she remarried and then this is done, she does not have to leave her husband. So let's say it is not clear at all what that marriage is referring to. Tomorrow we'll discuss it. Let's say here we go. Let's say it is incredible. Amar Rabbi Yassi, Minayin La Pesha, so Pesha hit there. No, we talked about this for like 3 months. I expect you guys, by the way, how do you know the concept of Pesha Asra Pesha? How do I know that idea? That if I prepare of information, I find the source of the information, I am believed to qualify the information as well. Some of that Shana and speaking the Sakila Yish Hazak. is Isha. But so listen to this. This is talking about. The father, the married, his minor daughter. And then we're going to say this is the situation where the husband believes that she was not with the sunnah. She was not with the sunnah. Listen to the passage. As speaking as Sakin Isha. Father says, I have given my daughter to this man as a wife. So you must watch this. What's happening? Minish, when the father says, I've given her to this man, Asra, he has prohibited his daughter to everyone. Hazeh, Itila. So I must say, here's what's interesting. When he says, when the father says, I've given my daughter in marriage, she becomes Asura to him, to everyone. Is that statement? I don't know who she's married to. Then when the father says, Hazeh, to this man, she becomes committed to this man, and Asura to everyone else. So those are interesting. I'm suggesting that's the source of Hapesh Sha'asar the father answers her to everyone by saying, I married her off. Doesn't tell us, I married her off. She's assured to everyone, and now commits her to the man who he identifies as her husband. Fascinating. First, the Gemara says, I understand. Lamalika, the truth is, say, you don't execute a passer. Or Pesha Asra Pashekha, why not? Svarali, who Asra, who Sharilais. They both say, Pesha Asra Pesha Hittir is just a Svara. And they both say, in fact, it's a Miga. And it makes you don't need a passer. It really doesn't. If you are the only source of information, and you could have kept quiet and not shared anything, but you choose to divulge, then by definition, you believe your qualifications as well. It's Svara. It's Svara, to which the Gemara says, Hello, you're right. Yes, is right. So once it turns out that Pesha or Pesha is a Svara, not a Pasuk. I Svara use the Pasuk for. Trust listen to this. So it's your trying to figure out for let's say the Pasuk is actually something else. I don't know that a father has the ability to ask his daughter. I don't know that his father, the father has the ability ultimately again to ask his daughter to everyone else in the world. So it says, Shemana is speaking us out there like Ish. Because the daughter says, I've given my daughter to a man. In that moment when he says that statement before identifying who he's giving his daughter to, Allah when I say, what is he doing? He is answering his daughter to everyone in the world. Because in that moment before he says Hazeh, Allah again, she's answering to everyone. Hazeh Lamari. So what do I need ultimately again to the Hazeh? Says, why they would continue to try to get Rashi? Shema that's as we go. She kind of onara, she yodel catch it. That we know back now. Now you should amar kidash yodel thirty. She never knows how to tell. So listen, it means as follows. In general, a father is believed to say, I was kaddish my daughter to a particular man. He's believed. Why is he believed to say that? That comes from this passage. As he's the father is believed to say, I am giving my daughter over marriage to someone. What do I need the Hazeh for? So you go, need the Hazeh as follows. Carry up Yonah, and I'm going to speak to yourself in Hazeh, no Yonah. That's very interesting. But ultimately, again, the claim of a lot of pursuing, ultimately, again, the only come from the husband, cannot come from the Yonah. Okay, interesting. More cases. A woman says, I was married. Someone says, suppose a very exciting sugya, very exciting sugya. We actually just learned the source of Pesha, also of Pesha Hidra. We thought it was a pasuk. That's not a pasuk. What is it? Svara. Svara. Which of us I think has been premise that we've been operating on or with since the beginning of this survey. Here we go. Aisha Shamra, Aisha Sishani. The Chazra Ba'amra. Uya Ani. Le'amanas. So the Gemara says, if a woman says, I'm married, she claims I'm married. And then she says, no, I'm single. She's believed. Again, as you see, that shall say that she is. One second. Shabi. And listen, we learn again the concept that you can choose your own status. When she says, I'm a married woman. Listen, she thinks upon herself and thinks upon herself. Status. So why is she just permitted to just flippantly change that? To which the Gemara says, "Oh, Rabbi Barafuna, what's happening over here? And let's say she gives an amasna. Amasna is an excuse or an explanation. Rabbi say, what's happening over here? She makes a claim, I'm a married woman. And then she turns around a little bit later and she's going, I'm single. And say, hey, what's up? What's up? And she explains why she said what she said. In that case, she is believed. So the Gemara says, I don't know what I said. The purpose. Amra Ishes Ishani. Because of Amra Kibuya Ani, Aaron the MLS. If a woman says, I'm a married woman, and then she turns around and she says that I'm single, she's not believed. Because once she says she's a married woman, she's conferred upon herself the status of a servant. She's not then believed to simply say, no, I'm not married. However, the Amasta, first one on the bottom, if she provides an excuse or an explanation of her words, then she's believed. Rabbi said, "You might get a story. Listen to this. Listen to this. There was once a very beautiful woman, and she was beautiful, and she was beautiful, and she also was kosher. She had status. What happened? The Kavtsu Allah b'nei Adam l'Kavsha. Ba'amala, the Gudashas Ani, that's like what happened. So there were a number of men who were obviously very interested in her. And they were pursuing her, and she kept saying to these men, oh, I'm sorry, I'm the Gudashas, I'm already betrayed. And a little while later, right, Yamim, under the Kitchas Atzma. I say, by the way, you can see the passing the Russian of the Gilbert. Kitchas Atzma. Kitchas Atzma means what? She decided who she was going to become Gudashas. This wasn't a straight up right? So in other words, no one was being the Kadesh. Her, she was allowing herself, right? She was giving herself contribution. So the point over here is, a little while later over here, that she has Kedushin. So what's going on? So the Gemara says, Amula Ha'amur Mara Islasoske. Come say, what's going on? How did you become Kedashas now? Because you were going to already the Kedashas. Amrullah, and the Tefillah Shabbat Hashem Shem Ganim, I'm married to the Kedashas. Before the suitors, the guys were coming to me, they're not really husbands. So I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings by saying, you found the shidduch. So what did I say? I said, I'm the Kedashas. Sorry, take it already. However, Achshav Shabbat Hashem Ganim, I'm married to the Kedashas. Now, Baruch Hashem, that I better prospects, better she do things. Now I allowed myself to become a Kedashas. I was Mekadosh myself. Shall I say so? So the Gemara says, Halcha. So I say, so this is an example of an Amasta, where a person says something, then changes, right? A person says something which sets their status a certain way, then says the opposite. If they give an Amasta, they give an explanation, then we accept the qualification. This was the Halacha Sarabira went ahead and brought the Hamadusha. The Amru must not a master with Baraha and the Amaras. If each gives an Amasta for the words, ultimately, she is free. So they'll say, and that seems to be the Halacha. So they'll say, we have a lot of different things happening over here. So first of all, we have Apesha Asar Rapesh. Right, so we'll say, so remember again, Pesha Asar Pesha will say is you give information, you're believed to qualify that information. That's case one. So that's different than the case we're dealing with now. What are we dealing with now? Where a person says one thing and then what? Right. Says the opposite. So we'll say, Pesh Asar Pesh here is a woman says, I was married, but now I'm divorced. Those are not contradictory things. It's not contradictory things. That's a narrative. That's a guy. So if she's the one who introduced the information to us, she's believed to qualify. How do we know that? Svara. Case 2 Gabo says, a woman shows up and she says, I'm married. And then she says, I'm single. Now she's saying contradictory things. It's contradictory things. So we'll say in general, if a person says contradictory things, contradiction, we ignore it. And then we say no. Shabya and Ashik What you said first established your status, and you can't just simply flip that switch off. However, if the person provides you an explanation as to why now they're providing contradictory statement about themselves, then what? Then they're okay. So a woman says, I'm married, and then she says, I'm single. You say, no, no, no. You say you're married. That's it. Now no, no, would you say, no, no, I said I was married because at the end of the day I was getting proposition by these guys for marriage and not suitable suitors, so I just wanted them off my back. That's why I said I was married, but I'm really not married. Okay, that we can believe. And I'm asked that. What says the Bani Shmomer Merav. Amr Tmeya Ani, the Chazar Amr Tahora Ani Mar. That's the interesting things. What happens if a woman says to her husband, I'm a Nida, I'm Tmeya, and then she turns around and she says, I'm Tahora, I'm not a Nida. What's the halacha? So Amr Lay, Af Bizu, in Rasna Amasla days, so we'll say, again, it's the same halacha. If she gives an amasla, if she gives an explanation, in other words, so you're saying you're a nida, now you're saying you're not a nida. Okay, so just what's going on? So if there is a legitimate explanation for this, then in that's fine. So terminate our buns in so Shmuel learned this halacha 40 times. The Gemara says, but Avad Shmuel Uzda ben Hashem. Shmuel did not accept this halacha when it came to his own circumstances. I will say, what are his own circumstances? If you look at Tosis, he's actually interesting. Tosis says, Shmuel Baal is that cookie in the Mississippi. So Shmuel wanted to have relations with his wife. Amrulay, Tmeya Ani. She said, I'm a nida. And the Machar Amra, Tahora Ani. Tomorrow, the next day, she said to her husband, I'm Tahora. Amrullah Etmol Tmeya Yoma. I'm sorry, Amrullah Etmol Tmeya Yoma. Tahora. So he says, what's going on? Yesterday you said you're a nida. Today you're not a nida. Amrullah Esmol Lahadis Bichila Kiagi. What did she answer? She said, I was tired. So when I was tired, I just thought it was too difficult to get an explanation. So I just said I'm a nida. That's not what he said. Also, what a Shmuel's life is an open book to us. It is that of days on the days. Was it after never us for shame? We go to please shame. That's what I'm thinking right now. Why that? Like, this is like, I say after 120, life isn't open book. Life isn't open book. And come to the days in Shalmala, every detail of my life is read and discussed and talked about, from the most mundane to the most intimate. And it's all there. My family's there, and everyone else is there. Everyone's there. It's there. Let's say, it's such a lesser aspect to make sure that we read the lives, that if someone reads about it, whether it's in Tosis, students.com face in the face, or it's in the face in Shalmala, I'm okay with people hearing about the life that I have. And I have nothing to hide. Again, it's hard. I don't know that any of us can measure up to the measure of nothing to hide, but at least let us be cognizant of the fact that everything we do and the way we live is an absolute overkill. Perhaps not in front of others, but when I say certainly in front of our Krishna. Cognizant of that, to make sure that we're living lives that when someone reads our narrative, they will be proud of the story we really do. So Shmuel over here, so Mrs. Shmuel says to her husband, I was tired. So instead of getting into it, again, I just said, I'm Tameya, but I'm really not an Nida. So the Gemara says, so ultimately, again, so finish those is, us is Rav, so Shmuel has the Shaila of Rav. Shmuel comes to Rav, he tells him the whole story. So what's the halacha? Amarlei, the Masla Dvar, and Ananas. This is a case of Masla. This is a case where she's explaining why she said what she said, and therefore what the say, and therefore Allah for the so technically Shmuel, the wife is permitted to go say like Shmuel, understood the halacha, for whatever the reason, he was accepting the halacha for himself. He was uncomfortable accepting the halacha. Therefore, again, let's say so I didn't confuse it. Here, the halacha is a halacha l'maisa, right? That a person is believed to flip flop on step. And if we give an explanation for that change, the Shmuel himself didn't accept. So we'll say, so therefore, again, halacha l'maisa, Shmuel, Rashi says over here, Rashi says, the Abba Shmuel of the Rashi, Ham achas amar lo ishtoki, the rest of us of Torah, the Pirshei Hachatavla. Shmuel would not be with his wife ultimately again until she went to the mikvah. So he did not accept the Amasa for himself for whatever the reason, but halacha l'maisa we would accept the Amasa. Come on, Shnein Omen Meis, Shnein Omen Lo Meis, Shnein Omen Niskar Shal, Shnein Omen Lo Niskar Shal. Those are in this case. Two witnesses say a husband died. Two witnesses. That's why you found this case a little bit. Two witnesses say the husband didn't die. Two witnesses say the husband divorced his wife. Two witnesses say he did not divorce his wife. So we'll say, so what does the woman do in these situations? Ultimately, again, she shouldn't be married. Because halacha l'maisa is going to contradictory testimony. The Imin says no case. However, if halacha l'maisa she did remarry, she does not have to live for second marriage. Okay, so the Gemara says, Rabbi Yossi, and I could say, Rabbi Yossi says absolutely not. If she did remarry in a situation like this, she has to go ahead and leave for second marriage. Rabbi Yossi. But when do I say that she has to leave her second husband? That's in the case where what? The witness is first killed, and she married anyway. In other words, let's say, so Rachel's married to Ruvain. Two witnesses show up and say Ruvain's dead. Two witnesses show up and say Ruvain's not dead. She should not remarry. If she remarried in that case, when the Menachem Bar Yossi says she has to leave her husband. But halacha l'maisa again, if she remarried and then only after. So listen, let's say Rachel's married to Ruvain. Two witnesses show up and say what? And say Ruvain died. And she gets remarried. And then afterwards, two witnesses show up and say Ruvain's alive. In that case, even though Menachem can agree, she does not have to go ahead and leave her husband. So we'll say, let's analyze this. How does this case work? So let's say, here's what it sounds like. Halacha l'maisa, Rachel is married to Ruvain. Witnesses show up. Two witnesses say that Ruvain died, and what happens? According to the Tanakh, ultimately again, let's go with this. So two witnesses show up. Okay, let's go with the Hakam. Let's just keep it easy. So two witnesses say Ruvain died, and two witnesses say Ruvain didn't die. Rachel gets married anyway. What do the Hakam say? Say, fine, she shouldn't have gotten married, but if she gets remarried, she doesn't have to leave her second husband. I don't understand. How could that be? They're going to say this is a case of two witnesses against two witnesses, and they will say every single time Rachel is with her second husband, they have to bring an Asham Talmud. We'll say Asham Talmud is a program that is brought for potential infraction of a party's bearing sin. So we'll say, so again, halacha l'maisa, Rachel may be a married woman, so I don't understand how is she allowed to be with her second husband? Which the Gemara says, and Rav Sheshes Kadosh Sheni says, la'achad ne'edah. Interesting, that's what's the case. Who did she marry? More interesting. Who did she marry? One of the witnesses. That was like, remember, the witness says that he is dead. He has no son. So therefore, again, he has no that he is dead. That's fine, the Gemara says. What about he who Baba Asham Talmud? What about she herself? What about Rachel herself? What could be subject to an Asham Talmud? For which the Gemara says, Ba'omeras Bari. What's the case of her saying? Well, she says, I know my husband is dead. Now, how could she know for sure her husband is dead? Ba'omeras Bari. I will say, because I know that if my husband was alive, he would have come home. The fact that he didn't come home, and the fact that his fetus also, that he's dead, tells you that Allah for a nice sleep. Therefore, I will say, that's why even though you have two opposing witnesses who say that he's alive, Ultimately, again, in these very specific cases, if she marries one of the witnesses and she says again, so therefore the husband is sure that Reuben is dead, Rachel knows that Reuben is dead, there's no Asham Tablet. On Rabbi Yochanan, Shnayim Omeis, Rabbi Yochanan like this. If two witnesses say that Reuben is dead, two witnesses say that Reuben is not dead, Hare Zu Loti Nasa. Ultimately, again, she should not marry. He does two verses two, she shouldn't marry. However, the Gemara says, the he says, locates say. However, again, I love what I said. She did get remarried. She did get remarried. She does not have to leave her second husband. Conversely, Stein only discussion on the discussion. Two witnesses say that you didn't divorce Rachel. Two witnesses say they didn't divorce. Hare Zu Loti Nasa. Rachel should not get remarried. Then he says, take. Also, listen to this. So Rabbi Yochanan has a distinction. In Rabbi Yochanan's version, two verses two in the case where Reuben died, she shouldn't get remarried, but if she did, she doesn't have to leave. But conversely, two verses two in the case of divorce, two witnesses say that Reuben divorced Rachel. Two witnesses say that Reuben did not divorce Rachel. Rachel shouldn't be married. But if she did want Rachel, she has to leave husband number two. Wow, because why is there a distinction between the first case and the second case? She's wide awake in her whiskey. What do you have? An 8 so we can also do this. 8 knows, and we will allow one of the big unless you know if you're going to stop over here today. So pick up the rest of the team. Unless you know there's no tomorrow, it's going to take us. So next I start 5:45 in the catch up, we're totally on track. Let's say incredible tomorrow, incredible city tomorrow. It's still a pandemic, so I sit next to you during the start of the show. It's good to be here. How are you, Brian? I'm good. Here again, the world famous Comedy Store, another episode of Bill Tony on the Sunset Strip. Hey, look, everybody, it's the great Brian J. Eno right there. Trying to the next episode. There's the classic, the turn, the wave, and the point. Brian J. Eno features us every single episode of the show. All those prints are available at BrianJeno.com. Every poster, every episode. He's been doing auctions over there. Go check it out. A lot of fun stuff happening. Very limited edition Bill Tony shirts he just released. And other fun stuff as well. Yeah, very exciting. We're all stuffed up on Vito's Pizza, my favorite pizza place, and really one of my favorite Italian restaurants in all of the city that I love the most, Los Angeles, California. The pizza that I usually get now. It's incredible, man. I think I mentioned it last week, but I did it again since every little gathering I go to now where I know there's going to be more people. I pre-ordered an entire party tray of seating. It comes with an entire tray of breadsticks, an entire tray of salad, hot salad, and I show up here actually it's called salad. It's been a while since I had a salad. That's right, it is. Yeah, salad is not your talk right now. But I'll just bring these entire trays of food to places, and people are like, what the fuck? It makes people so happy. It's breadsticks alone with stop parties and scraps or start one. Shout out to Charlie, of course, last week we were graced with presents of great grace, Vito's Pizza. I'm all jacked up on delicious tasting coffee. Tony saved 15%. We have amazing sponsors. I actually eat Vito's. I actually drink cafe coffee. I actually love the Comedy Store. And here's a little bit more of the amazing sponsors that brought you tonight's episode. Hey y'all, now more than ever, you really shouldn't put off seeing a doctor when you're not feeling well. And I know that with everything going on, it can be difficult to put your health first. Seeing a doctor can be a real hassle. Plus, it's scary nowadays to go in there. There might be people in the waiting room coughing. It's frightening. That's why I use Plush Care. They make seeing a doctor so easy, I do it right from home. Plush Care provides virtual doctor appointments through your smartphone or computer. I see the time that works for me and book an appointment right online. I don't have to sit on hold for
tonight. And for the first time ever in the history of the show, ladies and gentlemen, a graphic artist who I have been working with, it seems like forever, but I guess it's only been over a year. The great Vader is here for the first time ever, everyone. How exciting. All the way from beautiful Tennessee, we're happy to have you here. Welcome to the Comedy Store. An unbelievably amazing artist. All internet graphics. Incredible. Anyway, so let's start the show, shall we? We have a guest tonight. This is one of my really good friends. This is a guy who I've even gotten closer. Yeah, you've been playing yeah, he's been teaching me some stuff, getting my swing right. This guy is an unbelievable golfer, an unbelievable comedian, a guy who I've always looked up to here at the Comedy Store. When I started here, he was already right there in the middle of the lineups, killing it. The Comedy Store paid regular, famous for movies, TV shows, absolutely everything. True Comedy Store guy, one of my good friends. Everybody makes a noise for the great Cord McCown, everybody. Yeah! Not his first Kill Tony rodeo at all. He's been here a few times. I've judged roast battles with this guy. It's good to be here, folks. There we go. Yeah, it is good to be here. Yes, I can see it. It's good to be here. And we've been having fun. And since I became a golf addict during this pandemic, we've run into each other over at the range, and you straightened out my swing. How is your swing? How is he? He's actually not too bad. You know, I mean, it's like it's sort of like an endorsement. I mean, it's the hardest sport in the world, and everybody thinks that they can get 2-3 months in and they're going to be great. And it's just fucking, it takes years. Yeah, it takes years. But I did notice you got the Trump sweatshirt on. Well, the fans at home could not notice that where the cameras are, but thank you for exposing that, and our listenership just went down 50. Oh, thank you, Mr. President. I'm glad that I'm actually glad that you are listening to the show. I didn't realize you were had a microphone. You're welcome, Mr. President. I got this playing at your course, by the way. It is a beautiful course here in Palos Verdes, and it's one of my favorite places to go. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. And if you get a chance, I would love it if you would just like put my name on a list so that I could play anytime, perhaps. What do you think about that? Okay. All right. Let's just keep this fun train moving along. Gordon, I don't know if you remember this or not, but we have a band on this show.
When I first started doing this, it was still on the stairs, and there was no band. So now I feel like I'm really part of Kill Tony.
I love it. Well, the band, every single episode commits to being different characters. We never know what they're going to be. They've been in the back getting ready. Took a long time tonight. Let's see what they are. I hope it's worth it. They're the best damn band in the land. They are the Kill Tony band. Jeremiah Watkins, Joel Jimenez, Jesse Johnson, and Brahma Chris. Oh my God. What in the world is happening? Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. Look at this. Wow. My goodness gracious. They made jet ski a freaking Christmas tree over here. Poor Jesse Johnson. What an interesting position you're in tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Santa Claus is here, everybody. Clearly pregnant with septuplets. A very strange type of fat. Hello, how are you, Santa?
Have you been a good boy this year, Tony?
You know me.
I do, you haven't.
Why? What have I done? Have you been watching me?
Lots of coal, Tony. Lots of coal coming your way.
Well, luckily
Oh.
luckily I'm a big fan of the coal industry, so I'll be able to resell that. Okay, Mr. President, Mr. Santa Claus. Mr. President is here. You're a big fan of the coal industry as well, right, Mr. President? Right? That's not what I asked you at all. We love coal, don't we? That's not, again, this is like Trump doing his Biden impression. Okay. Okay, thank available at jetskijohnson.com. I bought two. I think you got three. Oh, that's right. I bought two more, I meant to say. That brings me to five total. Hello, Mrs. Claus. Looking actually just like all of Joel's female characters, looking extremely beautiful for some reason. Hot as fuck. Wow, Mrs. Claus, what have you been? Wow, you pulling out your breasts? I'm right, if you act that. Oh, is that why he gave you a list? She sucked on too many good things. I'm not waiting at that. I'm tired of having time to get done like this. How do you think we made this marriage work so long? And it appears as though we... have one of the most frightening elves of all time here, everybody. Roman Chris. Hey, everybody, nice to meet you. Bye. What's your name, Elf? Name's Alfonso. Ah! It's this Santa turned the North Pole into a meth lab. Look at this. This is wild, man. This is a fucking party. Jets needs a Christmas tree. We got the real Santa Claus. This is your first time on the show, am I right, Santa Claus? It's true. It's so wild. Nothing better than a late September, early October appearance by Santa Claus.
Well, it's about to be my busy season, so I made some room in my schedule.
Okay, that makes sense. Great. You ready? So we have a special Christmas episode. Christmas with Court McCown. Everything's here. Everybody's here. So let's start the show, shall we? This is another episode of Cotaine. We're still inside with a very, very extremely basically no audience, just the close-up production team here at Cotaine. With a few predetermined sign-ups, trying to squeeze some new people in here that have been waiting a couple weeks or so to get in, and they're finally in the bucket. So let's start the show. You guys ready for this? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, that reminds me of back when we used to have 500 people in the room. You know what? Let's not start the show with the bucket. Let's start the show with something special. This is one of our regulars, ladies and gentlemen, to get things started here tonight. This guy, one of the longest tenured regulars in the history of the show, famously was sent over 20-some pairs of shorts last week. Absolutely insane, and did a little runway strut for us, testing out some of the pairs of shorts. And he's back again. One of my favorite comedians, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Big Red Machine, William Montgomery. With 60 seconds uninterrupted. Here he is, William Montgomery.
I wish they'd attach an iPad to a shake weight so we could form a tight-knit community. I'm kind of jealous of Peloton and people riding their bikes in their living room, cheering each other on. Meanwhile, I'm in the basement with the shake weight looking like I'm training for the dice rolling Olympics. The best part about a shake weight is that it can lose 12 pounds in one square inch of your body, and you have the fucking most ripped muscle inside of your right elbow. Meanwhile, the left elbow looks like Danny DeVito in a nudist resort. Whenever I pull down my underwear, my dick looks like Danny DeVito auditioning for Taxi. But seriously, I don't know if y'all heard, but Casper the Friend Ghost died a couple days ago.
Alright. Why don't you just say thank you? That's my time.
Thank you, that's my time.
There you go. Hey! Christmas tree, happy holiday. Yeah, Christmas music.
Love it.
You love Christmas, right, William?
I do. I grew up Jewish, actually, but
You didn't grow up Jewish. That's the crazy part of what you just said.
I know I was going to try to make up a story about how I grew up Jewish, but then we got into Christianity and got big into Christmas.
That's right. Speaking of Christmas, you were given tens and tens of gifts last week as the shorts really started pouring in here at the Comedy Store.
I have some new ones on tonight.
That is a beautiful new pair of shorts, buttons zipped up, everything is working, it's operational. Do you have a belt
40s back. What does that mean? Well, the belt's a little tight. They're hanging a little. Let's just say when you looked at your shirt, I thought game recognized game.
So William, have you spoken to your family or your girlfriend about the new shorts? What are they saying? What's important?
They love it.
Yeah.
It's big. Everybody loves it. Your girl probably likes how your butt smells better.
Oh, Jesus, Red Band.
Huh? Watching Red Band.
Yeah, huh? You're gonna end up with cold.
I'm always watching.
Wow, I bet you are. It's creepy when you say it like that. Christmas tree, you don't watch anything, do you? You guys hang out a lot? You hang out with Christmas tree a lot, Santa?
Supposedly, but she gets a little freaked out when I try to get underneath her.
Oh, look out. What is Mrs. Boston about that?
Too busy dealing with the cameras in my bathroom. Oh, look like that list really cleared up this. Glad that the candy game finally wrong.
So, William, we have really exciting news for you. I don't think you're going to believe it. Is there anything else crazy that happened this week?
I actually saw a movie for the first time in many years on Netflix yesterday. I don't know if y'all remember Covenant. I highly recommend it. It's a perfect movie.
How about what happened with Danny DeVito this week? You noticed Danny DeVito in something?
I did. That's where the Danny DeVito stuff came out. What's that?
See another pair of shorts moving.
What size are they?
Well, you're going to have to find out. You're going to find out right now.
Perfect. I do need some more. They're a nice color too. They remind me of your old shorts. I like these.
What size are they? Do you see there?
I can't tell.
Oh my goodness. What? You got new shirts too.
New shirts?
Yep. New shirts.
What do these say?
I don't know. Read it. Open it up.
I haven't.
What does it say?
I don't even know.
This is where we find out William doesn't know how to read. Size 38. Welcome. That's a good brand.
Nice. Love it.
It's a Christmas giveaway. I should give these to Santa Claus to give to you. Little did I know. Proof again that we had no idea ever what the fan's going to be. You want to open that up and give it to him? What are the odds that Santa Claus is here on a special gift-giving day of Tony?
How many boxes? Do you have any more shorts? Do I have?
Ooh, this one's exciting. It's postmarked to Billy Montgomery.
Billy Montgomery?
Wow.
Hold on, we got two pairs of that one. Kill Tony's now an unboxing show.
Wow. Another pair of shorts and Alan Carr's Quit Drinking.
Perfect.
Quit drinking without willpower. Two things.
Without willpower, how does that work?
Santa, check this
How
out.
does that work?
And a giant bag of candy.
Wow.
Instead of drinking, you need a bunch of candy. Oh, and you also got a letter here. Could be money.
Oh, let's see.
Could be money. Could be anthrax. Nobody really knows.
Read it real hard when you open that.
Yeah, Santa is opening a letter. I want to see if there's cash in there. That's all I really care about. Perhaps a check, a cashier's check.
I love letter. What is
Is
that?
there a check? A gift certificate? A bumper sticker? Wow. Really Mark of the Beast. It is a letter from a crazy person. Oh, there you go. It's a Red Man poster. That William Montgomery took a shortcut there. So, William, you got a few new pairs of shorts, some new clothes. What do you think? Do we squeeze in a little another this show. I believe he's only done this show. He lives up near Modesto, so he's real white trash. Always has a real interesting story for us. Last time he told us that he was strapped and he pulled a strap out of his pants. Let's see what happens this week, ladies and gentlemen. It is Trey Peacock. Here he is. Oh, Trey Peacock.
I love Mexican food. It's taco trucks. Taco trucks sell the best Coke. That's a fact. But when I say that, there are two different thought processes you can have. And you're right. You might be the kind of person that hears that and thinks about enjoying a nice cold bottle of Coca-Cola, or you could be the kind of person that hears that and thinks about staying up for 3 days straight, jacking off and staring out windows. Either way, you want the good shit, you gotta get it from Mexican. You know, you gotta love those taco trucks. They say you are what you eat, and I actually am Mexican, but I guess lately I've been eating too much white bread. I'm a lot like a slice of bread. I get a really jumpy around toasters, but it's not that I'm actually afraid of toasters. It's just whenever I'm around them, I think I'm gonna have a stroke, and not like the good kind on my dick, like the bad kind. Thanks, I'm Trey Peacock.
There you go. Hi Trey, how are you?
Good, how you?
Good. I have a lot of questions about that set. Is that it? Look, let me tell you something that I've learned in 36 years on this planet, never trying cocaine once, is that people that do cocaine don't ever invite me to anything. I don't ever see them doing it. I don't even know they do it. My other friends are always like, oh, you didn't know that your buddy's like a real big cokehead. I'm like, what? I just thought he had a great sense of humor like me until 5 or 6 a.m. I thought people were just wired that way. But, so I don't know anything about cocaine is my point. My question is this. Is that true that taco trucks sell the best coke?
Well, the joke was Coca-Cola, but yes, that's the premise.
Oh.
Well, being someone that's done a lot of cocaine, I will say that Mexicans sell the worst cocaine on the planet.
Take that, Mexican!
What race has the best cocaine?
I'm going to guess white people. White people.
I just never got any good coke from Mexico. That's just all I had. And gasoline smell. You know what I'm talking about, Trey.
Well, yeah,
The fertilizers.
Now, Trey, you do a lot of cocaine, correct?
yes, sir.
Hell yeah, you do. When's the last time you did some cocaine?
About 20 minutes ago.
Are you serious?
You had the laziest looking cup that I've ever seen. I'm not on that. Like you just did a bomb.
It's so interesting that you did it 20 minutes ago. That's wild to me. Does it even affect you anymore? Do you have to do cocaine just to get up to base level, would you say?
Yeah, my parents gave me Adderall when I was a kid. So, yeah, I'm looked at.
How much do you do it like typical day? Like, are you going through just like a bump or two, or are you going through like a whole bag?
The 8 ball lasts like maybe a week.
How much is an 8 ball?
We'll see.
Not a lot.
I got 8 ball in a night. What are you talking about? Hours, right?
It's called portion control. Heard of it, Red Man?
He's,
Like you've ever done that.
what other drugs do you do regularly? A little bit of meth, right? Just a touch.
Just a little bit.
So what are we talking about with meth? How often do you do that?
That's what I'm calling it.
What?
I use that to stay up when I'm working.
Okay. How often do you work?
Every day I'm not out here.
Okay.
So now what do you do to come down?
Weed.
Wow.
Have you ever tried heroin?
Nope, not yet.
I'll be a good boy, baby.
You have friends that do heroin?
I know some people. Not really friends.
Enemies. Do you ever do any pain pills of any kind? That's probably a good thing. You have a highly addictive personality.
Yes, sir.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
Yes, I
How many cigarettes do you smoke a day?
have.
Half, so that's 20 cigarettes a day. That's fine. I respect that. Thank you. It's a heavy smoker myself. And now I just use this vape pen, and I also go to lucy.co and use their amazing nicotine gum. Absolutely incredible. That wasn't a joke. I don't know why you did a Rich.
It was like a skater for the promo.
So what else? What else have you tried? Have you ever done anything like any like unorthodox drugs, like huff paint or anything like that?
headed.
Do you think you have any signs of cancer setting on? Do you have any like you have like a lumpy back or something?
But that cracks when I read it sometimes.
Okie dokie. Wow.
Well, if it's not going to be your biggest problem, we can see. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Things I Only Think of in My Nightmares. Your back cracks when you breathe in.
As a kid, has Dr. Cool visited you recently, Tony?
No, but I have gotten a lot of feedback since that episode aired from people that analyze dreams and whatnot, and it seems to, it appears as though people have told me that they're saying that I believe the doctors aren't saying all that they know. Perhaps it's wrapped around the current coronavirus or things like that. That my beliefs are that the doctors aren't saying everything with their jaws wired shut, and it's pouring out of them. That we are only getting pieces of the information. It's a couple of little thing that I read the other day from someone that sent me some interesting stuff. Trey, what else have you been up to since the last time we saw you?
Something funny happened to me today when I was working. I had to go to Home Depot and get some parts. I was getting some pipe fittings, and I went to the self-checkout. Yep, self-checkout, and one of the fittings wasn't coming up, so a lady had to come over here, and she was beautiful. I was like, oh, this is a beautiful girl, and so she's helping me. The one fitting that didn't come up is called a nipple. So she's there. So she's there looking through all the nipples, asking me which one, and it's not there. There's long nipples, short nipples, and so it was kind of awkward, and we finally got it, and I just thought that was kind of funny. She was all blushing, like, she didn't know what it was either.
Tribulus, did you get a boner?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Look at that. Got a boner.
Let it slide.
Thank you.
In our house, we call that a Yule log. Oh, wow. You have a little country accent now. That's right. I'm all over the place. I got a lift, an accent.
Sometimes I talk like this.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's just say she's traveled with me all over the world and can't pick a voice or read.
Wow. North Pole, South Pole, you're bipolar.
As long as it's a pole, I'm alright with
Oh,
it.
Mrs. Claus?
Bloody Mrs. Claus. This is a great character. My goodness. Shit, you've seen that.
What did I say about the gag reflex, Mrs. Claus?
Sorry, I'm only used to it. Trey, is it true that what happened after the episode last time you were on when you had the strap on you?
Yeah, I was driving home and got another speeding ticket.
What? And the wild part of that you told me is what? That you had?
Well, I didn't have the strap on. I did still have the strap on, but I didn't get caught. I had tree. They took my tree, and
What you had a tree? Christmas tree?
yep,
Yep. What do you think about that Christmas tree? This guy drives with trees in his car.
Like, you guys just go like, that sounds really nice.
So you had marijuana in your car.
yes, I did.
And the cop never found out, right?
No, he did. He was like, you got weed in here. Like after he was already running me up for speeding, he came back and he's like, all right, you got treatment. And I was like, yeah. So he's like, all right, well, give it to me. So I got it, gave it to him. I was like, it's under an ounce stuff, so I'm good. I know that. So he goes back and weighs it, and comes back and he gave it back to me. So I was like, sweet.
Don't you have any cocaine in your car at the time?
No, I didn't.
No, where was that? In your asshole?
Something like that.
You have a big hat.
Thank you.
Your ears are underneath your
I
hat.
have a small head.
You look like a Hey Arnold character.
How small is your head?
Really small.
Let's see. Can we see how small your head is? Whoa, look at that tiny head. Look at that. That is a really. Does everyone in your family have tiny heads?
It's just me. I was a preemie. That's why.
Oh, it was. Your mom probably has some wild habits, right?
You're a premature ejaculator that doesn't know what it was.
All right. Yeah. So tell us about the things that your mom's into.
Well, my mom's actually pretty straight edge. She's a Christian, but she was an alcoholic for a long time. But
She was pregnant with you?
probably, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Now that's why it makes sense.
Yep.
All right, Trey. Well, it's always fun. Well, you're from Modesto?
Yes, sir.
You ever been up to Modesto? I have been to Modesto. It's a scary place. Very, very scary place.
He looks like he's from Modesto.
Whoa. Santa just rubbed a bomb on you, dude. You look even molested, bro. straight to that camera. You're the new head of tourism. Introduce yourself. Say, I'm Trey Peacock, head of tourism, and here's why you should visit Modesto, and then ramble about it. Go now. Go.
I'm head tourist Trey Peacock, and we're here to talk about Modesto. Y'all should go see 9th Street. That's where all the crack cookers are. But stay off 8th because that's where the cops run down. And stay off of 12th because that's where all the gangs are at.
No, you told them where to avoid. Look at camera and tell them all the great things about Modesto. Go ahead.
There's a movie theater. There's taco trucks. There's a lot of coke. You can get weed from any of the clubs out there. You can get it on the street. That's 9th Street too. Come visit Modesto anytime you want. You're welcome here.
What was that final line? Come visit Modesto and we tell you how you welcome here. What was that?
I don't know what I said. I was rambling.
That was beautiful. And that is perfect. That is everything great about Modesto. So if you're into any of those things, stay off of 9th Street, avoid 8th Street. The cops are running on 12th Street. We got great coke, great taco trucks. You come here, we know you welcome. All right, Trey. Well, fun times. Congratulations. This is your third time ever doing stand-up?
Yes, it is.
There you go. Straight Peacock. Very nice. Straight Peacock. Chasing its dreams. Taking a break from the cocaine and the meth to grace us with its presence here on Kill Tony. A young Trey, how old are you? 21 years old, already addicted to meth and cocaine. How about another hand for Trey, everybody? These are just some of the wild characters.
Have you ever been offered coke? Like, have you been around it before?
I mean, yeah, people, I've been sort of around. I've definitely been offered it. And people are always like really surprised that they don't do it. It's like I'm always skinny and I'm always up late night.
And you're a writer.
Writers take it. Yeah.
You'd probably like it too much.
Yeah, probably.
This one.
Hello, Miss Aquarius. How are you? I'm well, thank you. Are you ready for me? All right, just one moment. I was up very late. I watched another documentary with Riser and his mom last night, and she left today, so I will perhaps get my hours back to normal. I don't know. He's supposed to come back. We watched a documentary on an airport in Canada that was once the crossroads of or crossroads, if you want to call it that, of the world in terms of transatlantic flights. And on 9/11 became very important because a lot of people landed there without notice, and so it was that story, and it was interesting. It is known as Gander, Newfoundland, Canada. Miss Aquarius, you had an amazing spare. I didn't include it. That was great.
You're good.
Thank you, madam.
Wonderful. There you go.
Oh, that was
That's the difficult split. No,
Ooh,
no, tomorrow, guys.
no
Tomorrow,
doubt.
guys.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yay. Wonderful.
Give me this. What a spare.
By finish it. By finish it. All right, you win out. All right, you win out. Breather. Breather.
Reload is right, Miss Aquarius. You win, I win. I win, you win.
Lovely. Okay.
Ooh, that you got that last one. That was good.
Bye. Got it.
No doubt. Give me this. Ooh.
Hello, perfect. Hello, perfect. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
No doubt here. Bingo.
Right. Right. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. There.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Big time.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Right.
Give me this. Ooh.
You guys. Finish it. Right, you and I win. Right,
I win, you win, Mr. Aquarius. You win, I win. Undefeated in bowling, undefeated in friendship.
Friendship.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! All right, Mr. Aquarius. Sweet dreams to you, God willing.
Sweet dreams to you. Sweet dreams to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
God willing. Welcome. See ya. I'll see ya. Tomorrow, okay? Sounds good.
The child must be nice. Speaking of the devil. Big pan of bit.
How you doing, Jake? There you go. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Maybe some lobsters or something one of these days. Some
Alright,
fish or
calm
something.
down. How is the job hunt going?
Wonderful investing in the job, working on a cannabis dispensary as a place in here. Whether it's going to be so official, Fish Rothschild,
But what is that? What is that? Okay, you get a badge to do that?
Yes, sir. Another process of go through. You go from patient to agent.
And you need a badge? And you need a badge to do that?
But it's a certain.
And they give you a badge?
Yes, sir.
No way.
All that good shit.
That's pretty baller.
Triple 968 2. It's my badge number.
Hey.
Cigar right now. Got from my buddy. Drinking it's a Philly.
There you go.
I enjoy it. And another thing is people are always like, no, it's great for when you get drunk. It brings you back. And I'm like, but that's what I get drunk for. I get drunk to get drunk. Like that's the feeling that feels good. So I want to stay there.
Right.
But you've done a lot, right, Court? That's like part of your like legacy back in the day. You were like, I experienced part of it.
Is that Tony Hinchcliffe? You were a
movie star in the 80s.
I remember hearing Tony
I'm watching a podcast.
I love you too, bro.
Extremely expensive, but it was really good. Now it's like Nesco. It's like cut with shit. It's not as good.
Started on the Mexicans.
My missus class was younger, she stole cocaine from a friend and then helped them look for it.
Yeah. How did that end?
They lost it in the snow.
Alright, I found another name out of the bucket.
What's up,
This young
Dave?
lady's
Hope you
first
had a
time
good
on the
day.
show.
Hope you had a good day. And you enjoyed every second of
You
it.
too, big man.
Swing
Take
by
care.
again, or I told her to swing by.
I'm not going nowhere.
It sounded like you were.
She's performing now. The name is Carolyn Georges. Everyone, here we go. First time on Kill Tony.
This year, man.
You're more than welcome to.
Here we go. To town, Caroline Georges.
I'm a stripper. No, it's great being a stripper, but I do have to live with the stigma. I get slut shamed for being a stripper, which is wrong because sluts don't get paid. I'm a whore, so I get it right. If you're gonna shame me for anything, I'm not just kidding. I'm not really a whore. I don't really like labels. But yeah. So, anyways, people do ask. A lot of friends will ask me, like, do you do anything like extra? And I always just tell them, like, no, I don't do extra in the VIP. I'm a Christian, So, as far as like slut shaming goes, like that's launching a bit, it's just really beyond me. Like, what did I do that's like so wrong? My fucking guys, like, did I fuck you? Like, did I suck your dick and make you come? Like, what's like about slut shaming that I'm the bad guy? In this situation that I'm being shamed. That's my time.
Hey, Caroline Georges. Hey, all right. Wow. There's a lot in there. Coming to town. Caroline Georges' first time on Kill Tony. How long have you been doing stand-up for?
$6,000.
Wow. Santa just got real interested.
So if somebody needs to tell me what they want for Christmas this year.
Cocaine.
Wow. We have another. It appears that we have another fan of cocaine here on Tony. How long have you been doing drugs for?
Oh, I mean, I don't really, honestly, it gets, it's kind of old hat doing drugs if you're a stripper, you know what I mean? It honestly, like, kind of, clients want you to do it with them sometimes and stuff, and so it's like, you kind of have to, like, learn the tricks of how to talk your way out of it and stuff, but at the same time, like, you know, it's, yeah.
Any cool stories like a famous celebrity that you've been there?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Names.
No, I mean, sometimes family men will come in and you'll be, like, surprised, like, oh, that guy, like, you know, that celebrity, like, that actor, and he's, like, you know, has, like, 5 big kids and stuff. He's on a really popular HBO show. He started a really popular HBO show.
What was the show about? Sopranos.
No, I can't say. I can't. No, I want to protect their identity.
No, I know. I don't want to throw anybody
But like Republicans come in too. Like there's like a couple like Republicans like strippers, like Republican pundits.
You mean like politicians?
Yeah.
Right. That makes comedians that were politicians. Comedy stories like comics that came in that you can definitely talk about. That's how it works. Republicans go to strip clubs and Democratic politicians go to pizza places that have basements.
Yeah.
Those goddamn reptiles. But famous comedians, anybody like that?
No, I mean I don't want to say right.
Again, that makes sense. I don't want to do that.
You know.
No. So you've been stripping for 10 years. Is there an end goal for you? Like, what are you saving money for?
I just kind of I came to LA because I kind of wanted to have an exciting life.
Where'd you come from?
I come from Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness, they don't even have strip clubs in Alaska, do they? Oh, yes, they do. Oh, they do. You got big business.
Where
Wow.
are you from?
And we're getting the best. He's got an ASS in it. Good one. Mrs. Claus. Okay, so when you say they don't have them where you came from Alaska, what do you mean exactly?
I'm from like a really small town, like 30,000 people, really tiny.
Were you born in an igloo?
No.
Okay, it's one of those moments where Mrs. Claus needs to take a breath. Oh, she's dancing.
Mrs. Claus, easy.
We've seen this before. It's been a few weeks since we've seen that character get a little overamped up. What did you do before the show, Mrs. Claus? Anything different than usual?
A lot of dick and have a bunch of eggnog, baby.
Mrs. Claus, I tried to tell you. That wasn't eggnog.
All right, everyone. So, Caroline, do your parents know that you're a stripper?
Yeah.
What do they think about that?
My dad does my taxes.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, like it's
I'm more surprised that strippers do their taxes.
Yeah, we do we're American, you know, we do everything that everybody else does, you know.
That is the most American thing I've ever heard in my life. A stripper going, we are American.
Well, you know, we're not.
It's beautiful, thank you. So, your dad does your taxes. What did your mom think about it?
You know, what happened was I had a falling out with a girlfriend, so she told my parents that
I'm so excited that there's a stripper on this show. It's his children just flew up out of his hands and he tried to catch it and fell. Don't make that noise never again. Oh, I'm gonna vomit. Okay. So, what did your mom say?
A friend of mine actually like lashed out at me and told my mom kind of, you know, right when she didn't know and stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, and so but my mom just sort of like told me like she's like, you know what, it makes sense. And she sort of said like it's kind of a compliment, like I have a personality for it. So, like she's very passive aggressive about it, like she's never gonna.
What does she do for work?
She's a housewife.
Oh, so nothing at all. She could